Hello everyone, Oregon Moto John, just going to talk about a quick and easy tip to keep you from getting stranded. One is to put some dielectric grease on one of your ignition connectors when your bike is new, or even if it's not new. I guess something that can happen, according to people who are smarter than I am, is that you can get corrosion up in one of the connectors down here, and it's your major ignition switch on the FE 350, 501, or KTM, corresponding KTM dirt bikes. And when you have a keyed switch, and the ignition switch can get corrosion there, and it can leave you stranded when you're out on the trail. So let's just prevent that. Let's put some dielectric grease on that connection to keep water out. So the first step will be obviously just removing our mask. So we'll go ahead and do that now. And all that you'll need for this is some dielectric grease. I'm just using this dielectric grease, CRC, but you could use any brand that you wanted. It's just what I happen to find. And I believe this is our ignition connector here. You could certainly put some dielectric grease on any of these connectors. I might hit a few other ones while I'm in here, but let's start with this one, since this seems to be what gives you ignition power and could potentially leave you stranded if you lost that. So let's go ahead. It's got a little tab here that pushes up, or excuse me, there's no tab. It's just, that's for holding something else. Looks like it's just going to pull out. So let's remove that now. Okay, it took me a little bit of time to figure out how to unplug this. Well, not a long time, but a little fiddling. So I'm going to try to help you guys from fiddling around. I thought this was going to unplug from the front side, and it does not. This stays in place. You're going to go to the back side, and you're going to squeeze this. I squeezed to the bottom with my fingers as I wiggled it, and look, it plugs in from the back side. I'll pull this out of the way. So hopefully you can see that. That's where it plugs in. I squeezed the top and bottom of this and then just wiggled it, and it popped right out. So I'm going to go ahead and put some dielectric grease in here, a little bit in there, a little bit in the back side so water can't penetrate there, and just a little bit in this front side too. These things have a nice nozzle, so to fill the back side, you can often just put some in there and it'll just squeeze right. You can see it'll just kind of displace air, and you can squeeze it right into there quite a way. So let's fill that back side. And then I'm going to do the same to this over here as well. And I packed some in this, put some in this connector. You don't want to put too much because you still need to plug into this over here. So just kind of use what you feel is appropriate. This is one of those things where more isn't always better on the connector side. Wipe off any excess outside of these wires, excess on the wires and so forth. External to the connection isn't going to help you any, so clean it up, make it nice and tidy. I'm going to go ahead and hit this connector off the ignition. There's a major one right here, so this one I got apart by squeezing firmly here as I wiggled, and it came off, but I had to really pinch this pretty hard with my fingers. So let's go ahead and put some dielectric grease on that, and on the back side here, and on the back side of these connectors here as well. Okay, you can see I have grease here, grease on each end, as well as after it was disconnected, put the pins back in. Plugged it back in and put it around the pin so it's a nice sturdy connection. Always double check your connections once you put one together. I lightly tugged here and here to try to pull these apart to make sure that I had a firm connection. The grease helps displace air, so water can't penetrate in the first place. So you could do any of these connections that you wanted to, probably the more the better, but I mainly focused on the ignition switch here and here today. Some of these are blinker and headlight switches, which isn't a bad idea, but I just focused on the main ones today. But if you have time, do as many as you want. And then, of course, here you can see the dielectric grease on the back side of that connection, and it was also put on the other side as well where it connects. And water is not going to penetrate that very easily, if at all. So I love little tips like this. This one was from Takomoto, and I thought it was a good one. It doesn't take any money other than just purchasing your dielectric grease. So why not? Why not just take a little bit of time and some grease you probably already have on hand, dielectric grease, and why not? Might keep you from getting stranded at some point. All right, well, good luck. Hello everyone, Oregon Moto John, just going to talk about a quick and easy tip to keep you from getting stranded. One is to put some dielectric grease on one of your ignition connectors when your bike is new, or even if it's not new. I guess something that can happen, according to people who are smarter than I am, is that you can get corrosion up in one of the connectors down here, and it's your major ignition switch on the FE 350, 501, or KTM, corresponding KTM dirt bikes. And when you have a keyed switch, and the ignition switch can get corrosion there, and it can leave you stranded when you're out on the trail. So let's just prevent that. Let's put some dielectric grease on that connection to keep water out. So the first step will be obviously just removing our mask. So we'll go ahead and do that now.